welcome to Marilyn Hawes, and she's on holiday. But what a trooper! Bermuda, with all its delights, she's forsaken that just for a chat with me. What a privilege!
Such a privilege, such a joy. I'm literally sat on a beanbag just trying to avoid the glorious light, just so
Well,
that.
yes, we have problems when we're setting up. Sometimes when you got what they say, what they call is backlight, then
Yes.
you can't see a face. I was very tempted actually to carry on, but I thought no. Well, listen, we still got
Oh,
to talk what is happening in dear old UK and the rest of the world,
I
indeed.
have to say though, can I just say, within an hour of getting off the plane, and I actually put this out on X, the depressing skin of the UK just shed.
Oh, yeah,
Because you haven't got you don't realize how when you're walking around and you go in a pub, you go anywhere, people are talking about it, people are so distressed with what's happening over in the UK,
yeah.
and you don't realize how that subliminally impacts your mood and all of that. And I got off the plane within an hour. I thought, oh, you know, because you don't listen to the news here. You're already, the kids are always out and about. It's so sunny. You're just out and about, and it makes such a massive difference
Yeah.
to how you feel. Huge difference,
Well, we have
positive
lots
difference.
of contacts with America, as you know, and the average guy in America is stunned at what has happened to Britain. They
Mm,
cannot
I
believe a
know.
country going down the pan.
I know. It's almost embarrassing to be honest, but I mean, it feels like you're like on a life raft in the middle of the ocean, and no one can rescue you.
Yeah.
That's what it feels like. And I was pleased to see because I did do a little bit of prep before I came on this morning, and I was pleased to see that at last Lindsay Hoyle gave Starmer a bollocking for not answering the
Well, he
questions
did. I mean, it was fairly mild, but at least it was there.
because it's not been there before.
No, it
Um,
wasn't.
and
No.
it's just outrageous. It's all, and then of course you've got the Southport inquiry. Anyway, I'll shut up and let you ask the questions.
Well, let's go in the deep end, shall we? Nigel Farage is electioneering already, and it's not just the local elections. He's hoping, of course, that we're not going to get to 2029. The way GB is behaving, we won't anyway. But he hopes there's an election earlier. But there's a taster, isn't there, coming with the local elections. And one of the things that he's saying is that when he gets elected, finally, he says, hopefully, then this slavery reparation thing has got to stop,
Yeah.
where our ex Commonwealth countries in particular are saying we want 18 trillion pounds. Now,
They can go and do one, can't they? I mean, it's ridiculous. I mean, were we the first people to stop slavery, weren't we? And, and people, this is just bonkers. They're just ripping it out of people. I mean, no one wants to see it happen again. As I said, we're the first people that pulled people out of that situation. But, it's still going on today. Modern slavery, it's still going on. So why don't we spend the money trying to rectify modern day slavery?
yes, that would be a good idea. I can go further, and you know my feelings on knighthoods. Most people that deserve them don't get them. The underdeserving do.
Jobs for the boys.
Yes, it's all part of it. What about Sir Lenny Henry
Oh,
supporting this 18 trillion? I'd take his knighthood off him, quite
well,
frankly.
so would I. So would I. But I would take the knighthood off Sadiq Khan and also Keir Starmer. It seems to be just a bunch of tossers end up with the titles. You know, it is Joan. No, I mean, awful. He should. He should. He's a traitor to the country, isn't he? Really?
It is. He's
I mean, not being funny. How's it impacted him? He's doing all right.
thank you very much. I'd even take it off most of the footballers
Oh,
unless
me
they
too.
can
It's
prove to me and you what they've done for the country.
me too. Me too, absolutely. Most of us who deserve it don't get it and actually don't want it.
That's true, and some have even handed it back. The other thing about this is that Zia Yusuf, number two in Reform, is really going for this one. And he said that uh, we have made over the years huge sacrifices and got these nations out of their barbaric practices
Mm,
at times. And it's true.
it's true.
We're looking at Nigeria and Jamaica in particular that are claiming this. And they're claiming foreign aid, of course, and digesting that. They're getting more and more visas every year. The figures are alarming. 3.8 million paid to these two governments alone to help them along. 6.6 billion if you include everything. And they are complaining that's not enough. And they're getting visas to come over, and a lot of them cheat and lie and stay.
And there are, yeah, I mean, there are a lot of dodgy lawyers as well that will get people under the radar
Oh,
on dodgy visas. I mean, I came across that about 20 years ago, and that's been going on all this time. I mean, it's particularly actually, funnily enough, with youngsters who are very good at football and sport. They get them through, under the radar to go to academies and stuff like that. And uh, no, I mean no, dodgy lawyers should all be sent packing.
well, this very morning, these dodgy lawyers, or even dodgy liars, one can
Oh
say,
yes,
have been taken to task. Not officially, of course, because Sir Keir is one of them, but they are actually coaching these illegal immigrants. Number one, say you're gay, that'll get you in.
oh,
Number
I know.
two, I know you're a Muslim, but say you're a Christian,
That's right,
that'll get you in.
exactly. Or you're coming here to become a Christian and all that sort of stuff. Anything, any lie that will get you through. And
I
many of
will.
these.
I would lock up these lawyers, frankly,
Oh, so would I.
or deport them, preferably.
So would I. So would I, because they're being traitors to the country as well. I mean, it's just awful.
And
I
they're
mean,
making a
and some of them are
fortune.
but some of them are coming from peaceful countries as well. That's what gets me. There's a whole load of them. Oh, I read something, I think the other day. I read it when I was on the flight, I think, about how many people were coming in, and they are from peaceful countries. There's no reason for them to come in to seek asylum.
Yeah, let's raise the blood pressure a tiny bit again. Nationally, youth unemployment is its highest rate. On average, throughout the United Kingdom, it's 16%, but it's considerably more than that between the ages of 16 and 24,
Yeah,
which is the vital time in anybody starting working, of course.
absolutely, absolutely. I mean, they should. I don't know what they're going to do because there are apprenticeships. It's getting these people motivated to get out and get a job that they want to. I mean, I saw yes the other day again that the Gen Zs, a lot of the Gen Zs are now having time off work sick because they're tired.
Yes,
Oh, bless them. You
yes.
know, how did they get to that mindset? What what were their parents? Would they have been millennial? I don't understand. Millennial
Well, I'll
parents,
tell you what gets them there is that they're being smart because
yeah,
they know what they can get out of soft, stupid Britain,
yeah.
and they are swapping their stories on the usual social media, and they're comparing notes, and they say, "Oh, we can coordinate our efforts here and get easily on the dole for practically ever." And this is reckless ideology of our
Absolutely.
government. All he wants to do is pay benefits out and see our Navy and General Defence go down the pan.
But if you keep paying out, if you keep paying out and people aren't working, then you're not getting money in through the tax route, are you?
Yeah, don't expect common sense here. In London, indeed, it's 26.5% unemployment. Think about that, Sadiq Khan. And if you look at where the regions come in here, there's something that tells a story. In Wales, it's 8.9%. That's all. In Northern Ireland, it's 5.9%. Now, what's Northern Ireland doing right? Well, I'll tell you. Northern Ireland is a very cohesive and Christian society. I'm generalizing here compared with other regions. They take care of the kids, they understand what's happening to them. And whereas Sadiq Khan will say, oh, I'll open another 20 clubs, which is nothing in London, that'll cure the problem. No, it won't. It's the mindset, it's
Mm.
the entitlement that they've been
Yes,
preached to
yes, yeah,
right the way
yeah.
from school, and look after yourself, look after number one. And yet,
But
when you see Christian based societies, it does seem to work.
But it does also come from parents, doesn't it? That message
Of course,
that
it
there
does.
is this
Absolutely.
expectation that you are going to go to work, and it does come from there as well. I hate keeping on saying it's the parents, but it kind of is. I mean, it's that it's giving them it's managing your children to be accountable, take responsibility, even at a young age, to stand up and do like voluntary jobs and stuff like that, and to understand there is real value in working. It's a positive experience. And I don't know whether the parents of these kids are lolling around smoking 30 fags a day and watching TV all day and going to the betting shop, or whether they are actually actively working themselves. I don't know, because I haven't looked at it that mind. But I mean, I just worry about the mindset of children. So I mean, it has to go back to. So I'm here now with my two little grandchildren. So one of them is coming up 11 and the other one is coming up 9. And already, they get themselves up in the morning, right? They're up at 6. They had to leave at 7:30. They're up at 6. They are, what did I say they were there? So they're 8 and 10 years old at the moment, right? So it's another 3 or 4 months before they go up that other year. So they're 8 and 10. They get up, they get themselves dressed, they come down, they get their own breakfast. The mum and dad get up there, and they're very, very, really lovely girls. And they leave at 7:30. They are ready. Mum gets all the lunch boxes, etc., etc. And then the little one who's 10, she's had an interview or audition for this key part in this play. And it looks like she's going to get it. And she's already said to her dad, if that's the case, Daddy, I have to be in school for 7:30, for 7:30, prompt. So, they're already that, being on time, punctuality, getting up there, getting out there. She's already rehearsing. The kids are very into sport. They practice, with the parents before they actually do the actual event. And that whole thing and the value of it is absolutely in their DNA. They're going to be lolling around. It's already there. It's been put there by their parents and a school system that drives that mentality.
Yeah, there's a lot coming out now in tough times, even war times. Let me give you some other stats here that over 30% of the younger criminals that are caught, whether it's shoplifting, not many are caught there, of course, they let them off. But bigger, higher rated crimes, over 30% receive an average jail sentence of 6 months. In
Oh,
other words, they're out in 3 months.
dreadful. It's dreadful. I
The
mean, I
whole
was
system
listening.
is wrong.
Whole system's right. I was listening to Lucy Connolly on the Mike Graham show. I tipped into that this morning and had to listen to that because she's going to come on one of my shows. And you think she was put inside? She's still on probation. For they made that one post in Southport.
Yes,
What
yes, yes.
where everybody was so outraged. Everybody felt the same thing, but she put the post out there. She took that post down and apologized. Whether she meant the apology, I don't know. But most people felt the same. And the rage now after that has, the inquiry has now come out, as we all knew, it need never have happened, and lots of cover up and everything. And yet she is still on probation. Her probation doesn't end until March next year. So she still has to be very careful what she says. She hasn't done anything wrong. It's awful. She was on with Kelsey Mackenzie, and he was absolutely fuming about what's going on. I mean, it is. There's no. I mean, half the judges are woke, aren't they? I mean, they really are.
There's
I
no
mean,
consistency at all.
that's the word I'm looking for. There's no consistency. Absolutely, no consistency at all. It's dreadful. It's absolutely dreadful. I mean, you can't anything that's a crime against children, online, offline, whatever, needs the harshest of sentences. No, without fear or favour.
Yeah, another interesting note that has come out today is that it's always been lauded. Oh, she's a single parent mother. How wonderful. Well, listen to the favourite statistics of my good self, and they prove now absolutely. And we talk constantly about misogyny. This is where the kids learn it when they've got no father to discipline, to look up to have a
Well,
balance.
you could question that one also. Conversely, you could be in a situation like my children were, where they saw misogyny every day from their father.
Yes, each
And it was my
individual.
priest who said, if you stay, you are teaching your daughter it's okay to stay, and you're teaching your sons to copy the father. And yes, I was a single parent, but they were better for it. So there are
There
situations.
are absolutely there are mitigating circumstances, and some women do fantastic jobs. But
Yeah, you are mum and dad. I mean, I was. It's
yeah,
hard work,
absolutely.
very
But
hard
but
work.
this is a general sweep.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
it's a guide. We've got to help single parent families particularly, but we've not got to be duped into
Mm.
saying, oh, well, there is a problem. I'll give you another problem as well. I'm going to read you a headline.
Yeah.
Labour's benefits boost is a shameless bribe funded by middle class mugs. That's us, by the way. Now, every nation in the world, especially the US, is telling Britain, what are you paying out all these benefits for? You've got no navy, hardly got an army, and your
Oh,
air
it's
force is
terrible.
struggling, but nothing happens. Now we know Starmer is in cahoots and has to be with his left wing within the party, the super left wing, I call it, because he's left wing enough. And he has to go along with that to maintain his position in number 10. But sorry, it's about time he manned up, got a spine, and said and thought there's more to being a prime minister than this. And the DWP, the Department of Work and Pensions, revealed the non joined up mess that is Britain at the moment, in that they've been paying £850 million in benefits for the past 5 years to claimants who are dead.
Oh, yes.
It's all part of the scheme.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
Nobody is joined up in British
No,
society.
no, no. It's dreadful. I was where was I yesterday? I was because I mean obviously Bermuda is British, isn't it? You see, thank God I will be back in the UK before the King decides he's going to step foot here. Which I mean, I think it might. I don't know whether he will or not. I was talking to a girl in this iced tea bar yesterday because it's 26 degrees here. It's a bit of a shock to the system when you come from the UK, and. We were just talking while she was making this tea, and she was asking me. She said, "Oh, some people here, because it's an island, because there's not an awful lot of opportunity to shine, sort of thing. Well, no, there isn't because there's no university here. You have to go somewhere else. But I said, I just talking. I said, I've got friends that have moved across to England. I said, how are they finding that? I said, because I cannot believe what I'm watching and what I'm experiencing. I cannot believe what the UK has become well, is it in such a short time, or it has been creeping on for 20, 30 years. It's been
Well, it
creeping on,
has.
and now it's just like opened up like a floodgate.
I think many things had happened during the Tony Blair
Oh, yes,
administration that are now being fulfilled, and it's
yes,
rotten. Let me
yes.
give you another example. We've abolished the two-child benefit cap, of course. We've got more than 186,000 families without working parents who are claiming a good proportion
Oh,
of them
yeah,
are
yeah.
not British nationals, put it that way, and they are sitting back. They've had a 6,400 a year net payout just 2 weeks ago, when everybody else is suffering. You would now have to earn with that household £135,000 if you were in a job to equate what the benefit people are getting. Now, that is madness.
Oh, it is absolutely dreadful. It is dreadful. And I saw also, I think it was the day before I came online, I was reading that I think it's 4,500 councillors earn over £100,000.
More than the Prime Minister, that's
Yeah,
150.
more than the Prime Minister. Well, I mean, honestly, it's not worth a penny of what he
Well,
earns, is it?
no, it's certainly not worth 100,000,
Absolutely not.
157,000. And let me tell you, there are also perks on top of that.
Of course, of course, absolutely right. And you think of all the time, any excuse to hop on a plane, eh?
It gets him out of the country.
Unbelievable. Every time that it gets hot in the kitchen, he's out.
Off he goes. Right, I've got something from Scotland here to have a natter about. It's special needs within the education authorities. 43% of pupils north of the border now qualify for additional support. What? Nearly half? Yes, gets worse. In Glasgow alone, the percentage is about 60%. Now, why? Very simple, because Scotland had the wisdom of getting most of the legal and illegal immigrants into one big town, Glasgow, city of, and then they could deal with them better there. What qualifies you for being educationally needy? Well, one of the big things, in fact, it's the major thing, English is not your first language.
Mm.
So therefore, you go to one of 20 SEN schools, we used to call them, and you can get special help, even one-to-one teaching in various ways. Right, we've mentioned that. It gets worse. Those people with special needs, and everybody is actually claiming special needs if they can. Why? Well, they get special examination help. They don't have to write long essays in an examination. The words count's done because it would disadvantage them. So when they come and get an exam, and sometimes it's in a private room for various reasons, with an invigilator, one-on-one, in a
Yeah, yeah,
private
yeah,
room.
yeah.
So if you add all these benefits up, it's far easier to pass an examination being a special needs child. And they're queuing up to be designated special needs. The cost is enormous and
And
it's
also,
spreading in
and
pupils.
while that's going on, the children that genuinely need assessments, genuinely, My hairdresser's daughter has only one foot, right? She was born with one foot, incredibly, incredibly bright, but she's having trouble now. She's about 6 years old, processing some stuff. It's a 6 year waiting list to have an assessment. I
Terrible.
mean, it's dreadful, but when you've got people like that, if you can't speak the language, you shouldn't be here. I mean, I thought we covered all of that before. I had a feeling that the thing was, if you come into this country, you had to do this questionnaire. You have to understand English ethics. You have to know who the Queen was. I seem to remember this, and you had to speak English to an understandable extent. I thought didn't we do all this years ago?
Well, it was mentioned certainly, but don't forget both Scotland and Wales have a good degree of autonomy. And I suppose Wales can say you've got to speak Welsh as the first language. I expect anything going on in Wales. Obviously, when we're over there, we live there, so we know what is going on in Wales. Labour are about to get the trouncing that they deserve. And
Yes.
don't forget, we've had 57 years of Labour
Oh, has it been that
consecutive.
long? Wow.
Yes, yes. But what's going to happen? I'll tell you. They're not going to get Nigel in post.
Oh no, don't,
They're going
don't,
to
don't,
they're going to vote Green. They're going to
don't.
vote Plaid Cymru. And if you can think of something further left than the present Labour Party, I've just told you two of them. They're absolutely crackers. Wales is in a mess. You think
Oh,
Britain, England is in a mess with the NHS? No, it's not. You should try Wales. It is awful. We have got a neighbour in Wales that got his wife out of a bath. She had dementia
oh,
and crushed his vertebrae, was in absolute agony. He could not get an ambulance. It was hour after hour. Then somebody came home, fortunately, one of the neighbours took him into hospital. And the last time I heard, he was 14 hours in a corridor without even an aspirin.
oh! I thought West Streeting said that wasn't happening now.
It's happening, it's alive and
Of
well,
course it
Wes.
is. Of course it is. Absolutely. Of course it is. No, I have a friend in Wales actually, in Usk, and her husband has had to go into a care home. And oh my goodness me, the amount of toing and froing about who's paying what and what's the contribution going to be. And of course, you don't know how long some people go into a care home and they do actually buck up and get a bit better and stronger, and other people go nosediving straight downhill. It depends on the quality of the care, but she's still trying to sort out, who's going to pay what. What's the contribution from the council going to be? And I said, you live in Wales. I
Yeah,
wouldn't hold
but
your breath on it.
I tell you what's happening there. If you're near the border, you can elect to go into an English hospital, and it's
Oh,
far
okay.
better. That's the dodge that they're trying to create, and I don't
Right.
blame them either.
Okay, right. Oh, I didn't. Right. Okay, fine. Yeah, I get.
So
But it is. It's
that's
all a lottery, though, isn't it? It's such a
yes.
lottery. I feel terrible. I mean, for Wales because it's always been a bit. Some of the towns there are really depressed, aren't they? The employment, the chances, the opportunities are just not really there, are they?
Well, a lot of money's been put into there. Now, whether it was the lovely Margaret closing all the coal mines down and she got a conscience, but I tell you what, there's a pile of money being put in there for modern technology, and it was instigated by Thatcher herself.
All right.
But the last thing they do is vote for any other party until this year, except Labour. So it didn't do Margaret any good vote wise.
Oh God. Why would they not vote reform then?
It's part of the DNA. They're extremely left wing, and they're the left wing parties, the aforementioned two that we've
Right.
aforementioned.
Okay.
And
Okay.
yeah, there will be a reform vote, and I will be very surprised if overall, certainly in certain areas of North Wales, they would certainly vote for reform. But you never know. That's what an
You
election's
don't.
all about.
You don't. Is that you don't? I mean, to be honest. they deserve a trouncing because they have not listened to the electorate.
No,
Whatever comes their way, they deserve. They really do.
they do. This is a special government. The sooner it's out, the better. Let's cheer you up now. I'm going to give you some tips. Smartphone tips. Number one, get rid of it. No, I tell you what, it's becoming a real addiction. That's not what we're talking about, actually. If you go into a hotel, if you can afford to these days, and you're not happy about possible hidden cameras, this is where your smartphone can become very helpful because your camera on your smartphone works off infrared. And if you turn out all the lights and shut the curtains so that it's black, wave your phone around, and if it starts blinking either red or purple, there's a camera on you in that room.
Oh, frightening.
Yes,
Oh my God. I mean, I can understand the corridors, yes, and even the lift, yes. But oh my gosh, there's one in the
yes.
sake.
Beware of the WC. All
I'm amazed they're allowed to do that.
right. They're not allowed, of course, but it doesn't stop certain things happening in our wonderful society. They can claim every relief they can or reason for doing it. But if you have got any doubts, do that, wave it around. Secondly, another tip, don't let your brain go lazy because it's quite easy to let your brain go
Oh
lazy.
yeah, yeah.
Now, the simple thing is each phone has an app, usually a calculator. That does your brain no good, but we all do it. We see something, oh, I want to remember that point about the video, so I'll put it in a folder. And it doesn't go in there properly,
Yes,
stays
yes.
on the outside.
Yes, yes,
This is
yes,
not very
exactly.
medical the way I'm explaining it, but
Yeah,
it's good.
yeah, exactly.
It doesn't get into the depths of the brain whereby the memory gets hold of it
Yes,
and
exactly
you
right.
can recall it.
That's
So
right.
it's no good for your bonds is is a mobile phone unless you use it in the right way. And a smartphone. Now, smartphones can be wonderful, of course. If you get lost in any situation, you can
Mm,
say, "Where am I?" And you'll get a map if you've got AI in your smartphone.
mm.
And it's very, very useful. So we're not sort of damning it completely. Lots of people are asking, is my phone listening to me?
Yeah.
They won't answer the question, but I tell you what, you can test it for yourself. Get you or your better half together, and let's give you an idea of what you can do. Let's say you're thinking of buying a motorhome. So you're fed up of watching GB News flogging their motorhome. I'll never be able to. I'm not so lucky. I'll go and buy one. Put the phone on your table. Make sure it's on. Make sure that you've got your microphone on, which most people by default do. Start talking about having a camper van, a motorhome. Let's make it posher. And wait till tomorrow. See what happens to the adverts that are being sent to you. Then you will know whether people are listening. So there you are. There's a tip. It doesn't include, by the way, you typing something into the computer because that will definitely be picked up, and you will get brochures coming through your letterbox.
So they are, so that's interesting because I know with algorithms, if you actually say sort of do things like you you put in, oh, what's so and so wearing today, and the algorithms think you're really interested in that person, and you inundated with stuff to do with that. So it must be, so it actually picks up on your speech then.
There's a possibility. Try it,
Mm,
test it.
mm,
Let's have your
mm.
results, folks.
Yeah, interesting, isn't it? Very
Yes,
interesting.
yes.
Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me.
No, not in the least. Um, Let me cheer you up now. We're going to make an effort not to be doom and gloomers. And I've got a nice piece that is very interesting. And There are more doom and gloomers, believe it or not, despite the weather in Spain than anywhere. They panic at the least small event. Let me give you an example. Easter is going to be a disaster, they said before Easter. Why? Well, especially in Andalusia, which is in the deep south, which is where we are, Malaga Airport, everybody's going to die because the baggage handlers are going to be on strike. There was a meeting 2 days before Easter, like there always is, and they decided to call off the strike, the baggage handlers. But
Oh,
that wasn't displayed readily till after Semana Santa Easter celebrations here. But they get readers that way. EES, of course, is the new system that you've got to have electronic what's its to get in the country. So your passport is not good enough now, and they want you to have a special electronic registry so they can get you through passport control quicker after the first time. Don't believe them for 1 minute. It's because they
no.
want data, nothing at all to do with
Absolutely.
that. Yeah. And it's in throughout Europe, and they're deliberately targeting the United Kingdom. Now, this is important, and it just shows you how far down the line we are. Anybody in Europe can come into the United Kingdom without this pantomime. We'll let them in. Show us your passport. That's it. And Keir Starmer again is behind a lot of stuff here. He sacrificed our fishing rights
Yes.
so that we can have a good relationship with Europe and still visit our favourite countries for some sun. It is disgraceful, but that's him. Now, EES is causing 4 hours delay because you have a choice when you land in an airport in Spain and other countries, but especially Spain. And one is to go to a machine, put your fingerprints, have your picture taken, but good luck to you. We criticise computers on this programme so many times, don't we? Because they're always going wrong. You can, if you're lucky, get a human being behind a desk who will give you the first things through his computer. And maybe the next time it will be a little easier, but don't hold your breath. So you've got the baggage, you've got the EES, you've got the fact that the railway line from Madrid, and this is for local traffic, in other words, Spaniards, to Malaga has been out of use since that dreadful train crash, and it's still in a mess. So there you are, that's the doom and gloom. There's only one that was reality, and even that a half reality, that's the railway line. But such are the benefits of Spain in public transport, which is fantastic in Spain. They put on some trains at a lower speed and fast buses, and it was still faster than anything you get in England. So it was an Easter that would never happen, and people would lose millions, and everybody is getting depressed. It didn't happen, but this is the news media, whether it's
Yes.
about the war, whether it's
Yes.
about, oh, they usually get Keir
Mm.
Starmer's thing right, but it's about anything. They will give you doom and gloom, and 90% of it is not going to happen. So cheer up. You've
Yeah.
escaped the country. The poor souls that are behind. And I've come across a piece that is beautifully written. I'll read part of it, but you'll get the idea here. And it was sent to me from the States. It says there are many conflicting interests screaming their point of view. This is from a Friday newsletter from the States. We once again plead with you not to get agitated. Do not get hysterical about the story of the hour. Do not waste time with influences. This is a good point. putting an agenda forward. So if you are a guru of influencers and a follower of influencers, stop it, because all you get is their influence, their particular
Yeah,
opinion.
yeah,
Stay cool, take a breath, watch events unfold, gather information, your own information, fact check it. There is a bigger plan in play. Number one, keep praying. Boy, you need it. Number two, keep from being mad at President Trump for the issues du jour of the day. Because here's the thing, not one of the items in this Good News Friday newsletter would be here were it not be for one man, Donald J. Trump. In other words, they're getting over the fact that it's okay for the leftists to say, we don't want to go to war. It'll all be all right on the night. No, it wouldn't be, because we're dealing with folk here that are literally unhinged.
yes,
They are determined to kill anything that is
yeah,
Jewish,
yeah,
including the individual Jew. They're determined to overtake Christianity in the West. And the first thing they do with the nuclear weapon, if it wasn't stopped, and they've said it, we're going to drop one on Israel and wipe them out.
yeah,
And I'm sorry, the Donald is doing the right thing.
yeah, yeah. I think he is, but you get a lot of different sort of opinions. Like, my family, like an unnecessary war, killing all these people. They just don't see the reality coming down the track.
No, they don't see the
They don't, they
40,000.
don't, they don't see that this is going to be, they still believe it's just sort of um, a threat, an empty threat. They don't see, and maybe an empty threat, but I wouldn't trust them at all. I mean, he
No,
can't take that risk.
no.
He can't take that risk. And no one wants to see people killed. Nobody wants to see buildings blown up and all that. But that's the horror of war. But how he's going to end this, I have no idea.
Probably he doesn't either.
No,
But
exactly. That's the frightening bit. Is it going to be another Vietnam?
well, I doubt that, to be honest. But having said that, 40,000 young people have lost their lives. You've been
Yeah.
brought up in your primary, secondary, and university with the left wing perspective. That is terrible.
But the thing is, they don't seem to stand for anything. I can talk to my kids and I think, well, I don't want to fall out because they always say, don't talk about politics, religion, and sex, don't they? I don't want to fall out with them, but I sometimes think, well, you're so busy slamming on about Donald Trump and this, that, and the other, and whatever, that what do you actually stand for then? Are you just happy for stuff to wash over you and just, oh, everything will be all right on the night? Is that what it is? Do you not stand for anything? Do you not have an opinion on anything?
I think you're right. Certainly in Britain, it's party time. That's what we're interested in.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I'll give you another figure, which is terrible. 57% of Gen Zers don't want any children. 57%.
Well, that's because they're too tired. They see
Well,
that's what they're too tired. They're too tired to go to work. So they're
they
probably,
are, because it's party time. That's
yes,
what
they're too tired to have sex. They're too tired.
yeah.
I don't get it. I just don't get it. I'm honestly not sorry to be the age I am, where I am not bringing up children. It worries me. I mean, I do worry for my grandchildren. I really do. I don't so much about the little ones here because I think they're going to go on and, I mean, there's money to help them avoid the train crashes that are going on in this education system. And I did say to my daughter, if they're going to go to boarding school, they're going to have a heck of a shock living in England. There's going to be a real eye opener. You know,
Yes, yeah.
flying in to see Nana for 2 weeks and back again is not actually living in England. They're going to see, and there'll be, I think, quite some interesting debates going on in the family from their own Because I mean, teenagers do get, don't they, very uh, they always like to have a challenge to their parents, don't they? A challenge of
Well,
politics.
this is very important because
Yeah.
for good or for bad, children would sooner believe what their teacher says than, oh, mum and dad, they don't know what they're talking about.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
what their
yeah.
teacher is saying, wow, is awful. But it would be. All they read is The Guardian.
Yeah. I mean, my dad, as I say, my dad was he was a proper socialist in the real sense of the word, genuinely. Not, I mean, Labour are not socialists. They're Marxists. They're not socialists. But as I say, I've said it to you before. I remember having a real ding dong with him about Enoch Powell, who, I said. I think he's right. And my dad was like saying, "Oh, you're racist." I said, "I'm not racist. I'm not racist." I said, "He is foreseeing what will be in my adult life, and it's all happened."
Yes, it catches up with you. We've got to go. We run out of time. Tappers. Let's give Spain a big tick.
Oh, I love tapas.
Yeah, we do.
Yummy.
Yeah. And in case people didn't know, tapas comes from a long time ago, whereby you used to go into a restaurant in Spain. And there are various theories about what happened, but when you got your wine or beer, there was a little tray put on top. Uh, and people say, oh, it meant tapa. No, it
Oh,
doesn't. No, it doesn't actually. It means top. A tapper is something that closes a bottle, uh,
okay.
cork or whatever. And the tradition was that you didn't get a drink of wine, you got a bottle.
Oh,
Like,
nice.
yeah, suit you, duck. Anyway, you got this, and the tapper was put on top,
Oh,
and it used to be meatball, serrano ham, delicious stuff.
yeah.
It used to be a little bit of croqueta, which croquettes, usually with serrano ham in them, or mushrooms. There's delicious croquetas in Spain, full
No,
of
yeah, yeah.
really tasty mushrooms, or tortilla. And there's very few Brits that can make a tortilla. It has to be done a
Yeah.
different way. Yes, you can have stuff to put in it to make it even more tasty, and things like spinach often go in a tortilla, or onions is the favorite
Yeah.
one, of course, or chorizo. That gives it a right zap. So tapas can be as cheap still as €1.
Wow.
80 odd p. You can pay much more than that if you go to a posh place. But if you go to an inland village, you can get a tapper and a
Yeah.
couple of drinks of wine. It'll cost you less than a cup of coffee, well less than a cup of
Well,
Costa coffee.
not quite the same in Bermuda, which I think is probably the most expensive country in the world, quite honestly. I think it's more expensive here than Singapore.
Oh, why?
Well, it's an island.
Yeah.
So everything has, there's not a lot of fields or stuff like that. Got a few cows. You know, um, there's an agricultural show coming next week, and apparently they've got some pigs that are going to. I mean, this is their equivalent of the county show in England, but it's gone on for like donkey's years, and it's dog shows and horse riding and stuff like that. But it'll be interesting to see what it's like because it's so sort of traditional here. It's really lovely, but yeah.
Well, there was
Buzz in the community because there's going to be some pigs at the agricultural show.
yes, there was a series about Bermuda recently on television.
Yes, yeah, policing in paradise.
That's right, and
Yeah, yeah.
it seemed a bit of a riot at the place.
It I think it could have been done better, I think, but really you're not like with the policing, goodness me. I mean, You hardly ever hear a siren, and I think the most important, probably the most worrisome, is if some animals got out of some field. There's so little crime here. There really is, and it is really in little pockets between. The crime would be, yeah, you get the odd shooting, but that would be within in those sort of like tight-knit Bermudian communities. Poverty, poor. There are little pockets of really real poverty, but you still do that. Get the drugs. You should see down at the harbour, every single strip of water's got expensive yachts. They must get drugs bought in here. You can't say they won't. But it's very much in little small pockets of communities.
Well, give us a recipe. How do they do it right?
I've no idea. I just don't know. I don't know. I mean, I think, I'm saying it's backward. It's not backward because there's a lot of high power businesses here. But I think there's so much for kids to do. It's a perfect island for sport and being outside that they don't seem to, they're just ordinary kids. You don't see kids on their iPhones and stuff like that. They are out there doing stuff. There's this pride in Bermuda. So schools take it in turns to go down to the beaches and, have to clean up the beaches. The beaches don't get very dirty anyway, but nonetheless, litter picking and stuff like that, they do all that. And I just don't know. There's a mindset here. I mean, there's a lot of churches. I've never seen so many churches in such a small area. I mean, there's only 60,000 people on the island, but I mean, there's denominations I've never even heard of. And so, I don't know. It's just,
The
I don't know how
family
I really don't know how it works, but it
is,
just does.
is the
It,
family alive and well?
I think it is. I think it is. Yes, it is. And although all the wealthy whites over here, the Bermudian people who run the coffee shops and the tourist centre things, they're perfectly friendly. They're perfectly, they're not adverse towards the white people. I mean, there's uber wealth here, uber wealth. But then, as I say, everything, absolutely everything has to be imported. So very, very little is grown here. Eggs maybe, but really, just everything has to come across. And there's one shop that is a lovely shop called Miles, and everything is a bit like something that's the price is very expensive. But yeah, wine, everything has to be brought in.
When you're flying in there, does the phrase Bermuda Triangle spring to mind ever?
No, because the Bermuda Triangle is another patch further northwest, and that's where it's all to do with the what you call it, the magnetic fields. So that's what caused. There's lots of shipwrecks around the island and planes that ended up in the ocean or the sea. But fascinating place if you're a diver. But it is to do with at this one particular point, and now, I don't think you get it now because people's radar is much more able to sort of go round it or whatever. But it is something to do with the confusion of magnetic fields in one little part. And they call it the Bermuda Triangle, but it is to do with as it was then, when I think planes and ships didn't have the compasses and the technology they've got now to avoid it.
There you go. Well, she's going to lie back for a few days. We'll get her back when she's fed, because she gets fed up very easily. And it's
No,
all
I
right
don't.
being
Not,
in
no, I
paradise.
hear. Do you know, I put something on X yesterday and I said, there's a beautiful photo of this beach. Absolutely beautiful photo. And I put it out on X. I said, what do you see? I said, no migrant boats. I said, and no boats at all. I said, but here's the catch. This is Bermuda.
Yes. Oh, there you go. Thought for the day. Well, we'll see you. We don't know when, but we'll see you very shortly.
See you next week. I'll still be here.